Imagine waking up from a coma, tied to a hospital bed, surrounded by robotic arms, with absolutely no memory of who you are, where you are, or why you are there. To make matters worse, there are two dead bodies in the room with you. This is how Andy Weir's sci-fi masterpiece, Project Hail Mary, begins. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into one of the greatest space survival stories ever told. In the next 30 minutes, we will break down the entire plot, the mind-bending science, and the emotional core of this incredible novel. So sit back, put on your headphones, and let's journey into deep space. Our protagonist slowly remembers his name, Ryland Grace. He realizes he isn't on Earth. He is aboard a spaceship called the Hail Mary. And the reason he is here? Earth is dying, and he is the only survivor of a desperate mission to save humanity. As Grace's memory slowly returns through flashbacks, we learn about the apocalypse Earth is facing. Scientists discovered that the sun is losing energy. A mysterious alien, microscopic organism is growing around the sun, absorbing its heat and multiplying exponentially. Grace, who was a high school science teacher but formerly a molecular biologist, names this organism Astrophage, which means star eater. The astrophage is threatening to trigger a new ice age on Earth, which will wipe out humanity within a few decades. To save the world, a global task force is formed under a fierce, no-nonsense woman named Eva Stratt. She has absolute legal authority worldwide to get things done. Scientists notice that while every nearby star is dimming due to astrophage, one specific star called Tau Ceti remains completely unaffected. Why is Tau Ceti immune? The answers lie there, but Tau Ceti is 12 light-years away. A one-way suicide mission is planned, Project Hail Mary, a spaceship powered by Astrophage itself, which turns out to be an incredible fuel source, is built. The crew is supposed to go to Tau Ceti, find the cure, and send the data back to Earth via mini-probes. But as we know, Grace woke up alone. His two crewmates died during the long-induced coma on the journey. He is the last hope. Now, alone in the Tau Ceti system, Grace begins his research. But suddenly his radars pick up something impossible. Another spaceship is in the orbit of Tau Ceti. This is not a human ship, it's an alien ship. This is the moment the book shifts from a lonely survival story to one of the best first contact stories in sci-fi history. The alien ship, which Grace names the Blipper, approaches the Hail Mary. Grace meets the alien survivor. It looks like a five-legged rock-like spider, the size of a dock. Its species breathes superheated ammonia, has no eyes, it uses sonar/sound to see, and communicates through musical chords. Grace names him Rocky. Just like Earth, Rocky's home planet, Erid, is also being destroyed by Astrophage. Rocky's entire crew died too. They are two lonely survivors, from two different worlds, meeting in the middle of nowhere to save their respective planets. What follows is an incredible journey of friendship. Grace builds a special chamber with a glass window so they can safely interact. Using a computer program, Grace translates Rocky's musical language into English. They teach each other science, math, and language. Rocky is a brilliant engineer, and Grace is a brilliant scientist. Together, they form the ultimate team. Working together, Grace and Rocky study the planet Adrian in the Tau Ceti system. They discover why Tau Ceti is safe. Adrian has a natural predator that eats astrophage. Grace names this microbe Taumuba. If they can collect Taumuba, breed it, and bring it back to their home planets, the astrophage will be destroyed, and both Earth and Erid will be saved. But science fiction is never that easy. They fly into Adrian's atmosphere, successfully collect the Taumuba, but face a massive disaster. A containment breach happens on the ship. The Taumuba evolves incredibly fast and learns how to pass through the ship's walls, eating all the astrophage fuel. Rocky's ship is crippled, and Grace's ship loses a huge chunk of fuel. Through sheer genius and teamwork, they manage to fix the leak and breed a version of Taumuba that can survive without destroying their ships. They have the cure. They have just enough fuel to go home. This is the point where they must say goodbye. Rocky will head back to Erid, and Grace will head back to Earth. As Grace is traveling back to Earth, His final memories return, and we learn a dark, shocking truth about Grace. He was not a heroic volunteer for this mission. When one of the primary scientists died right before the launch, Grace was the only backup who could understand the biology. But Grace was terrified of dying in space and refused to go. Eva Stratt had him drugged and forced him onto the ship against his will. The amnesia drug wiped his memory of his cowardice. Grace is devastated by this realization. He wasn't a hero. He was a coward who was forced to save the world. But right then, a catastrophic realization hits him. He tests the amoeba on his ship and realizes that a minor flaw in their containment design means the amoeba will eventually leak and eat the fuel on Rocky's ship. Rocky is heading back to Erid with a tank full of amoeba that will kill his ship's fuel, leaving him to starve to death in the vacuum of space. Grace faces the ultimate choice. He can keep flying to Earth, save his own life, and save humanity. Or he can turn his ship around, use all his remaining fuel to save Rocky, and accept that he will never see Earth again. The man who was forced to be a hero makes a truly heroic choice. He turns the Hail Mary around. He sends the data probes containing the cure back to Earth and flies back to rescue his friend. Grace finds Rocky's crippled ship, saves him, and together they fly to Rocky's home planet, Erid. Because Erid's atmosphere is deadly to humans, Grace has to live in a specially built dome environment on their planet. Years pass. Rocky's planet is saved. And one day, Rocky brings Grace incredible news. Astronomers on Erid have checked the sun. The sun's luminosity has returned to 100%. The probes reached Earth. Earth is saved. Humanity survived. The novel ends with Grace, now an old man, teaching science to a classroom full of young, eager Iridian children. He never made it back to Earth, but he found a home, a purpose, and a brotherhood in the stars. Project Hail Mary is a story about the power of science, but more than that, it's a story about friendship that transcends biology, language, and planets. What did you think of Ryland Grace's sacrifice? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing audiobook summaries. Until next time, keep looking at the stars.